And we are live. All right. So, just to recap our characters, and we'll just go over what they look like so we don't have to do that later. We'll go ahead and go around the table and do a description. So, I'll start first. I'm the DM. I am a faceless entity and a disembodied voice, and that's all you need to know. Chris, who is your character and what do they look like?
My character is Belial, and if you look on the art section of this Dream Theater, he's there. He's olive-skinned. He's got white alabaster eyes with like no color in them. He wears a turban with the horns of some desert-dwelling four-legged creature. And the rest of him is layers of cloak and mantle that have like eyes on them and constellations.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. And Kroll, we'll do you last since we'll introduce you to the group. We'll do Lord Paw next. Who is your character and what do they look like?
Yes, Lord Swipe of the Paw is a tabaxi resembling what would probably be best known as a Bengal tiger. Lord Paw fits in well with kind of the upper crust of the merchant class, always wearing the latest fashion and frills. As you can see his token there, he is dressed up for business or a ball, and he will not be seen in public without such wonderful attire.
Very good. So, the two of you are at what looks a large cathedral-like university. It looks almost like a chapel to knowledge. You see stained glass and a fog that enshrouds the entire building. The chasm around it, which is hundreds of feet deep, and winding black stone streets that seem to twist off into a very poor, slummish looking district of houses. You see that our friend Belial is at the front door, which has a bridge over the chasm, and is speaking to a woman who is unmistakably of Kalashtar origins. She has a purple skin and a strange coral growing out of her head, almost like a headpiece, but you are pretty sure it is her hair. She has a beautiful voice, and as they are talking, Lord Pa, you are perusing the library, learning about social castes and rubbing elbows with the lore keepers. But you pause, no pun intended. What were you just doing, you think? And what will you do soon to come? You can't quite remember. At that point, a man dressed, as we will in a second get a description, this man comes up from the side of the building to about where you guys are. And Krull, who is your character and what do they look like?
Well, Krull, he's a very secretive and oddly character wrapped in shadows. He's wrapped in a cloak, and he seems oddly not to have anything on him. He has long, flowing black hair that you can kind of see kind of hints of, and you can tell he has pale skin, and he has emerald eyes, and he just has this evil, secretive kind of glint in his eyes, and he's very lithe, and he looks extremely mesmerizing.
And you do remember what you were doing, as the others are unaware. You have just recently come out of the mist that is swirling, and this man approaches the two of you socialites and the woman with a purpose, seeming to be quite ready to do something important. And at that point, our Kalashtar is talking within vicinity of you all that you can easily hear her. And you start thinking, who is this woman? And do you know her? And why can't you remember? Everybody can roll me a history check. So again, just double click on your character token and then click on the name of the history skill and go ahead and roll that. Oh, very nice. Yes, Lord Swipe knows exactly who this is. She is a very important aristocrat. Belial, you've seen her before, but she doesn't work directly with you. She has come to approach you, as she says, "Ah, Sir Belial, I've come looking for you. My name is Symbol. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I come with important business."
Belial, kisses your hand and goes, yes, my lady. What could you need of me?
Gross.
Yeah. He's super swarmy gross.
He's so smooth.
He's so greasy. He's greasy like the kebab that's sold on the streets.
She remains very calm, and she says, "Well, you see, it has come to my attention as one of the head of the concerters. You know, we keep the king amused with our music and slumbering. Well, something has threatened our peace. Cannot have that. So there is something I would like to ask of a scholar such as yourself, as you are quite knowledgeable, aren't you, sir?"
Yes, but this, for my expertise to help the upper echelons, it's going to be quite pricey.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm afraid you won't
I'm-
be able to do it by yourself either.
And that's true, but what do I get? What do I get for my tribe? I do have to bring back, what I make back to the tribes.
That is understandable. I seek only to elevate the tribe of the cave bear out of their squalor. Anything that you find of value to you, please take it back with you to your people. For my request is for you to travel somewhere full of lost technologies.
Oh, my lady, you now have struck my attention. How? How can I help?
And it's not just your attention that has been struck. Krull, you recognize this conversation as you were told to look out for it, and you see it happening. And Lord Paw, you know that Symbol is the second most important person in the faction of bards. She is the second chair. She has a beautiful singing voice and will one day be the faction leader. And of this moment, you are unknown to her, which is such a shame for a nobleman such as yourself. She has said Belial will need some help with this mission, and you're a nice upstart noble cat. Perhaps you think to lend your aid. So you remember, you came here looking for socialites. Will you say anything to her?
Yes, if I do have some freedom on my schedule this week, ever since coming to town, I've been a very busy man. But for the bar, I can pencil you in. Yes, of course.
She looks to you with the complete calmness of a trained, dignified politician. And she says, "Ah, my lord, it is so wonderful to make your acquaintance. I would be most honored if you would assist my friend Belial. You see, this matter is of most importance to the concerters, and we do patron this library here, the Existentia."
Well, it is important to the concertors, a patron of the arts such as myself, who's made vast donations in many places I have been. Of course, my time is valuable, and I will graciously lend it to you.
Oh, how wonderful. Is that an acquaintance of yours there? And she looks over to Krull, who is just trained on you guys. Krull, what do you do?
Well, it is nice to be here with you, gentlemen. And I don't really know what's going on. He kind of
Yes, most certainly not.
secretively says that.
Belial looks at the young lady and just like whispers over her, "Are these really the best you can get?"
She says, "Well, actually, you'll be meeting my constituents. There's a pilot I've conscripted who can take you to the location. In fact, he should be around here somewhere. I suppose we should just wait for them. Well, that's all right. I can debrief you while we wait. You see, there is a ruins nearby the Midas Repository, the bank holdings of the concerters, you see. It is in our district, so you'll need this pilot's spelljammer capabilities to take you there. The site is abandoned and quite dangerous, so I would not wish to send my dear pilot in alone, and well, you, sir, and she looks to Krull with your pretty good arsenal of crossbows and weapons and a magical look. And she says, "You seem to be able to handle yourself. And of course, I do not discriminate at all. Lords, nobles, and commoners alike are my friends. And for this, I shall pay you in, well, let's see here. I have a bag of holding I could hand you. Would you accept that as a upfront payment? And then, oh, I could give you each an extra 250 gold coins if you're successful. I should tell you what you must do first, though, of course. Now, at the factory site, the old ruins, there is a lost laboratory underground that contains some devices that I would just love to have removed from the area. They're just causing the most nasty little corruptions, and we wouldn't want those leaking all over our wonderful district. Do you think you could do that?
This isn't kept in
Well,
check. It
I'm
could leak
not
into other
sure
districts as
about
well. I'll do it.
these friends of mine, but yes, I will. I can manage that, as long as there's money in the cards and some treasure as well.
So thank you. It
Do
is.
apologize. While everyone here does look very capable of handling themselves, they dangerous, did you not? Just wondering, like, the level of danger. A nobleman, I've been trained, obviously, but, exactly how dangerous? Just curious.
Wonderful question. Not too dangerous. Not too dangerous at all. There's some leftover machines. You could call them modrons, I believe. That's just a little something they were working on at the site, and, they can really get out of hand when their programming begins to degrade. So be careful, though. They are quite clever in the use of traps. You'll want to keep a keen eye. As for the interior, I unfortunately have never been inside, and our records are quite bare. In fact, our pilot has all of the information, and I believe he would tell you that inside are a few machines for production, the normal sorts. There were experiments being conducted there by the Dream Weavers long ago, and then the factory mysteriously became incinerated. How strange. And anyone who would like to can roll another history check.
Okay. Let's see.
Lord Paw, especially, you remember this sort of event did actually make the headlines long ago.
I still seem to remember something of the like.
19. Okay.
So you put your heads together with the four of you, and she says, well, our records were saying that the Dreamweavers were attempting to create some sort of mutant hybrid, some sort of creature capable of piloting a spelljammer through the astral dream, but also capable of being controlled. I'm sure whatever these creatures are long gone, but these old places have a habit of retaining memories, and it's quite possible that the only way in will be through the dreams of this place. Yes, the land itself can dream, just as the people can. But I'm afraid any dreams you encounter there will be quite nightmarish. So, Lord Paw, you must be brave, as it is your force of personality that will keep you safe. Simply don't just dream it, be it, and it surely will come to pass.
God.
Whatever you wish for, my dear, I'm sure you can make it happen. And if you encounter those dastardly nightmares, well, don't let them put you to sleep. Because if you fall asleep in a nightmare, you'll enter a dark hole which you may not return unchanged. If you find yourself within the dream and you feel as though you cannot proceed, simply give yourself a pinch and try to wake yourself up. I'm sure that'll work. It's always worked for me. But then again, I am known for my charming personality.
Well, this all seems well and good.
Lord Paul kind of turned towards Krull and looked all the weapons up and down.
You know how to use those, right?
Yes, well, I think I do. It's very, very confusing, and yes, I do know how to use them. I'm stuck in this dream, and I don't know. My mind's all in a fog, and I'm not sure.
Well, I'll help you out. It seems where we're going. It will be machines that cause us trouble. So, do not attack us. We are now your friends, and if there's machines in my way, please, I would very likely need your assistance in removing them.
Oh yes, I will try. I, I think I'm quite capable in both weapon and spell, but I'm just lost. I'm confused. I will not attack any of my allies.
That point, Symbol will say, "Oh, a mind of fog, is it? Maybe I could help?"
Yes, I would appreciate any help that anyone can do.
Oh, well, you must try this strong draft. It should clear up any hangovers, hair of the dog, as they say. Here, let me see. And she reaches into a bag of holding and she pulls out a very strong looking whiskey drink in a handmade glass bottle. She hands the bag of holding over to Lord Paw. She says, "My sir, if you would be so kind as to hold this, and you can keep it." And then
Put it with all the others.
she will hand the whiskey over to you, Krull, and she says, "Go ahead, have a drink, and, well, I'm sure you'll forget your confusion." And as you look at it, you get sort of a flashback to other people pushing drinks on you, as it seems that this town has a fascination with alcohol and coffee, almost as if everyone in this town is addicted to one or the two. You've never heard of drugs other than these two, for the most part. Only the most seediest people use narcotics, but coffee and alcohol are rampant. Rampant.
But Dave, you only find psychedelics in the desert, man.
The desert's outside of town. You look at the booze and you just kind of intrinsically know this. Drinking it will certainly bring about some revelations, but you know that this will bring unwanted changes. What will you do?
Thank you very much, but I don't really like to drink on the job, and I've had some very, very poor experience with things being, let's say, pushed upon me without desire of my own. I
Oh,
hope you understand.
I do. Such is the manner of your station. Oh, I don't mean to offend. It is just, well, never mind. If you find yourself losing your mind to madness, give it a second thought. If you drink yourself into a stupor, mad thoughts will be nothing but a wind. Oh, Look, I think I see your pilot arriving. And what you see is coming out of the air from the east a vessel shaped like a mechanical dragonfly hover down onto the streets with nearly silent wings as they flutter down with the feet acting like a suspension system as it touches down, and all of the mechanics bring the body of the ship slowly to the street. You see a hatch open at the front, and you see a man dressed in a black trench coat, very similarly to a privateer sort of look. And he seems to be escorting a woman who has quite a few injuries, some fresh wounds, and Krull, your blood turns icy as you recognize Hildegloss. She is his captive, and as he approaches, she's looking around with her eyes downcast. Before anything happens, Krull, do you do anything? Do you attempt to avert her gaze and stay hidden, or what do you do?
No, he's gonna basically stare her down. Like,
Very good.
well, he kind of whispers to anybody who can hear him. Well, it seems that she has gotten what she has deserved.
Symbol will say to the pilot, "Ah, Jace, I see you've brought a visitor?" And he'll say, "Visitor? No, no. We caught this one attempting to sneak into the tower, the polyhedron. She had orders to assassinate a prisoner, but obviously we took care of that. I mean, some of us did. Well, where did they go?" "Well, my mind is quite foggy." And Symbol says, "Here, try the whiskey." He's like, "I've got my own."
Well, you'd better watch out for her. Yes, I have dealt with her and her kind before, and it seems that she is very, very sneaky and deadly.
Jace will say, "Yes, this is a red sign assassin. She's pretty far out of her jurisdiction. But since I saw Symbol exiting the tower before us, I figured I'd interrogate her myself and then bring her to you, my lord." That is if the price is right. And Symbol will say, "As stingy as ever. Well, yes, I'll take her into my custody for now. Thank you. That is your reward. My thanks." Jace will just be like, "I expect something a little better upon my return." "Well, if the four of you come back in one piece, absolutely. I'll find a couple of magic items that I can scrape up inside the library. How does that sound to all of you?" And with that, she bids you adieu and takes Hildegloss, this woman wearing a red dress with a head wrap, which seems to cover her long hair, which is caked in a red mud. And she leads her into the library. She just says, you hear her walking away, Now, don't try to resist. You know you can't escape my voice." And Hilda resigns herself. But she looks back at you, Krull, with a glare suggesting that this is not the last you have seen of her. And they disappear into the front doors, these enormous wooden doors of the Existentia Libratus.
And before they enter, you better watch out for that that evil woman. She likes to abuse her companions and her the ones closest to her. So you better watch her and watch your front and watch her back. Oh, sorry. Watch your back and her front.
Oh my God.
I'm just still a little confused.
Oh my God. Belial's just like cracking up. He's just like, oh my God, what am I watching here? What did I land to an episode, some kind of sitcom here?
Yeah, so is Jace. He's giving a hearty chuckle, and he's just like, I think I'm glad to have you lot aboard. I'm not sure about the pussyfoot, but if you can keep your eyes
You
out.
What the fuck?
Ah, he's a lively one. Good, good. We'll need you in a scramble. You see, my ship's quite stealthy, but it has no weapon capabilities. Let me see your war face.
There's like
This
nothing, just
marvel of
silent.
your flying ship. It's just a marvel. Never have I seen its equal.
Well.
I will say, it looks nice on the outside. Can we talk about the quarters inside? Of course, I will need my own room, being a nobleman.
Can you pilot?
Pilot, I can pilot the bar. Is there a bar on board?
I can make maps for you.
Ah,
Need
well, you
maps?
might be of some use as a navigator, because there's only 2 rooms in the Dragonfly. That's the cockpit and the cargo hold. You can take your pick. He'll point to Belial, you'll sit in the co-pilot's chair.
Uh.
The rest of you,
All right.
cargo hold it is. And if there's any trouble, I'm gonna need you to keep it away from us. Think you can handle that?
Does not seem like we have much of a choice here, but if I could get at least some shut-eye before getting to the Midas repository, being a man of such socialite status, I need to nap every now and then.
That shouldn't be a problem. The Dragonfly flies smooth and as silent as the night.
Perfect.
Here, I'll show you aboard. Come on. And he'll lead you in, and what you see is essentially an aircraft carrier interior, just like a helicopter seating with a row on each side of seats with military-style buckles, and a ramp to get in and out that basically is also the floor where you would be sitting. Through a small door in the wall ahead, a cockpit, and some very strange machines on the dash. You see that the cargo hold is also full of what look like strange boxes. And as he heads into the pilot's seat, he calls Belial up to him, leaving Krull and Paw alone with the cargo as the ramp is drawn up. And you notice that the lighting is a cool ambient blue fairy lights. And the boxes seem to have a strange residue.
Well,
Possible to clean up this residue.
Lord Paw, maybe you can get a smell of this strange substance.
If you would like to, you can roll an investigation on the strange substance.
A strange substance.
Strange white powder.
Mmm.
Find it.
Doing straight peyote in the desert.
Yeah, Krull, you've never seen narcotics before, but Pa this tickles your nose, and you realize
Hello, your
that
nose.
your pilot is a drug mule. He is not a good guy.
He's fine. He's fine. My friend. It's fine.
He says, "What are you doing, Belial? I need to show you how this thing works. Come up here."
So, quick
Okay.
question for you.
Mhm.
So, do you allow the help action? So, if somebody
Mhm.
helps someone, do they get to roll at advantage?
Yep, if you are trained in what you're helping in, you absolutely can help each other. And if you want to do it as a group check where you can essentially both roll and only one of you has to pass and any failures are negated, you can do that unless I say otherwise pretty much at any time. I'll tell you
Okay.
if it's impossible.
Okay.
But the two of you working together, Pa knows exactly what's going on here. This is a narcotic known as angel's dust, and it is made from the wings of angels or even Azamar, and it is highly contraband. You also see that there are a few instructions that say that Jace is to deliver this to the market to a halfling who seems to be the owner of a Spelljammer ship store. He's going to trade these drugs in for Spelljammer parts. Do you do anything with that at the moment, Pa?
What's the name of the halfling?
It doesn't say. In fact,
Oh, this is.
his identity's remained secret on purpose. It just says the contact, a halfling.
Do I see any other, like, I guess, information about where or when he's to make this contact?
Let's see real quick. The area is pretty sparse, but you think you might be able to find something as you go digging deeper. You're looking for more information about the contact, and you actually do. You see that Jace has added a few notes himself. It seems that he's going to be trading this cache of drugs that were sold to him from the red sign, and he's going to be selling it at market, or the halfling is, in exchange for a stealth field generator for his ship specifically. The Gnome store is located on the upper floor of the market mall, and you know that the main building of commerce is known as the Market Cortex. It is where all magic items are sold, as it is illegal to sell magic items outside of this building.
So, question for you. So, the captain, is he in a completely closed off separate room?
The door isn't closed. He's going over the controls with Belial, so he is distracted.
Okay. So, Kroll's gonna try to take a little or a couple of scoops with his hand and put them into a pouch.
You can roll sleight of hand with advantage because the pilot's distracted. And Pa, you definitely see this happening, so
Oh.
he's
That friend.
moon sugar. Ooh. When you steal the drugs and get the nat 20.
24.
All right, so anytime anyone gets a nat 20 or a 1 outside of combat, it goes into the inspirations channel. And what that is going to be is, if you look at the inspirations channel, I already put the one you did a little earlier today. So we write down what it was for. You got a nat 20 to steal the angel dust. And then underneath that, it says manifest and then a bonus. And I'll tell you what that means. So, anytime you have a inspiration in this channel, you can spend them, meaning if you haven't spent it already, it's a one-time use thing, you can manifest this memory. This is a very defining memory for your character, either your failures or your great successes. We'll also roll you a little bonus here as well after I explain this. The way that works is if you want to manifest something at any point, really, you can let me know, and we'll check that off in the chat that you've used it. And that will last for the rest of the game. You can only have one manifestation per game. So if you want to use a new one, it overrides the old one. And you get what the effect is there. So for the nat 20 to steal the angel dust, because you remember this, it becomes a part of your personality. You could use this to resist intoxications and addictions, which is actually could help you if you needed to drink that strong whiskey. You could manifest this and then get the bonus to resist the whiskey's effects if you wanted to do that. And that'll
So,
be there
are these
until you need it.
one-time effects, or are they
They
permanent?
are good for the whole game. You can use them once and then they go away, but when you use it, you get the effect for that whole game until the end of that game.
Thank you.
And let me just roll you a reward for the nat 20. Ooh, this is a good one. One moment. I have to open up one other thing. And Paul, did you want to do anything as he's taking this?
I'll just keep the secret of my newfound friend. Probably talk to the captain later on.
So, as you're taking the angel dusts, you also see that there are few more notes at the bottom of the bin. There is even more information on the red sign, which actually you can add to what you already have, Krull. Interestingly enough, you've gotten this twice now. You see that there is a note written in code that has been translated by the pilot, you believe. And in Jace's handwriting, as he wrote over top the original cipher, the Red Sign Lodge is the site of a very important negotiation. The drugs that he's taken were removed from the supply cache meant for that negotiation. And some very powerful undead were looking to receive these drugs as part of a deal that they had with the Red Sign, and now they'll be missing those. You think back to what you were told before about some liches. These powerful undead must be using narcotics to forward their wishes.
And he basically says this to Lord Pa. Like, yes, I think that these drugs are being used by the liches for some nefarious purpose.
Yes, my friend, you are quite right.
Lord Pa,
Yes.
you can roll a history or a religion to see what you know about these liches. Not to interrupt what you were saying. All you've heard is there are some very powerful undead bards, some heretics of the bards, who long ago cast off their mortal lives and their love for music in exchange for dark and evil power. They must have returned, and that is a danger to anyone who stands in their way, or anyone who is unfortunate enough not to be able to buy their favor. With these drugs, you think you might be able to just do exactly that.
We seem to have stumbled upon an interesting opportunity. These leeches, I would say, they're not nice people. And, well, certain things could be purchased or traded. How much did you take, my friend?
Well, I took just a pouch full. How much did I get?
You have 3 doses, which is only about, 3 little sniffs. This stuff is pretty potent. It's a pretty moderate narcotic.
So like, would the pilot suspect that if I took more, or would he just hand the box over to whoever he's delivering it to?
Well, you could try to get that information out of him subtly with a persuasion, or you could think about it with an insight, using what you know. You two can put your heads together on this one.
Persuasion?
Sure.
Or insight, you said?
Yep, you can decide between the two of you which one you want to do. You can do a group check here.
Okay. So I'm a...
And I can, if you'd like help.
Yeah, sure.
Alright. I will help him boost up his persuasion. I guess I would introduce him first to the pilot.
We're just wondering, my friend here was just curious about your things. What are you doing after this in the marketplace? If you could drop us by, do you have anything to do there? Is that an important place to you?
Nice. Love it. You can roll with the advantage, yep. Ooh, very, very nice. He doesn't really seem to think anything of it. Of course, you'd be interested in cashing in your rewards or something, right? And he just says, oh, the markets? Yeah, the Market Cortex is the best place in the whole damn city. You can find anything there if the price is right. These damn merchants, they require you to trade items. They don't just sell them to you. So I'm hoping to find something good, bring it back to them, so we can get some better gear. Well, I'd be happy to take you. Well, I gotta meet somebody, about a private matter. You know, he's the brains of the operation. You see, I'm just the messenger and just just delivering the cargo. Hey, do me a favor and don't touch those boxes back there, all right? I don't know what's in them. I don't want to know what's in them, but my employer guarantees me that they're very valuable and he knows exactly what's in there. So, anything missing will come back to you.
Well, we won't touch them. Not have to worry.
No, of course not. They look very heavy, and I could probably not even lift them. They're very large. I am a gentle being.
I'd like to bull curl aside.
All right, I say I have.
And I pull out my ball bearings bag with 1,000
That's
ball
exactly what I
bearings.
was thinking, yeah.
If we
Put them
it
underneath
weighs
the powder.
approximately 2 pounds. Why don't we take 2 pounds more?
Oh man, that's awesome.
Sounds good to me. That's what I was just thinking the same, but I didn't have any extra equipment on me, so
I'm gonna Indiana Jones this shit.
100%.
Gonna MacGyver it.
Okay, so that's so good. I'm gonna give you inspiration for this. So you can do sleight of hand as a group check with inspiration for both of you.
Oh, here we go. I'm just gonna do sleight of hand. I'm gonna roll a
with inspiration?
normal.
Is that advantage or?
Yep, with advantage, and then we'll take the highest of the two of you guys. 19. Rolls on it. Yeah. Oh, very good. Yeah, with that 22,
22.
you guys are putting Indiana Jones to shame with that one. You managed to actually get so much, you know. How much weight of ball bearings are you going to use exactly? What do you have?
I have 2 pounds worth, the entire bag of 1,000.
You
And
wanna
I
do
would
that?
just empty the bag and then fill it back up with angel dust.
So you have a 2-pound brick of narcotics. Do you split it right there? What do you do with it exactly? Because there's 2 pounds and 2 of you.
Yeah, I'll take a pound.
Or you could just put it all in the bag of holding.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do we have a bag of holding, or did we get one
just
from
happen to
Will?
have a bag of holding that Thimble gave me.
Yeah.
Fortunate. So I'll tie off the ball bearing bag, now filled with angel's dust, and I'll throw it in the bag of holding.
Oh
Very
my
good.
god. Why?
So
Why is this even happening?
We'll never know.
So we have 2 people with high stealing abilities. So
I don't know. I don't see any of this. I don't see this.
I didn't see nothing.
Sing, not sing, not sing.
The bag of holding itself is pretty shoddy. It doesn't look all that nice. In fact, it looks like something straight out of the desert, one of the tribal wares, perhaps. And I'll go ahead and put that in the loot channel for you, so we know exactly
Tribal
what
wear?
it does. Not underwear.
Did you say tribal wares? No, tribal wares. What did you say about
Yes.
tribal wares?
This bag of holding is shoddy and handmade. It is a tribal bag of holding. And it's shoddy, which means it's less valuable than normal. It counts as 1 less rarity. That's kind of like a curse. But it also has another downside. Whoever is holding it, the holder, if they take any cold damage, that is increased by a d4 of cold damage. So this thing is made for the heat. It cannot resist the cold temperatures, and even just holding it, it metaphysically extends that quality onto the holder. It doesn't require attunement, but unless you leave it behind, somebody's got to hold it. So who will hold onto it?
I'll hold on to it.
I'll hold on to it.
Okay.
All right.
It's one of the tribal artifacts. It's part of my people's.
So
We open it back up though. Our drugs are in there, correct?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's
Take all the cold damage you want. I just want to make sure we got our drugs.
The
It's
tribal
not a-
leaders have stolen it all.
It's a bag of devouring, but only for drugs.
That would be so sad.
Narcotic
No.
addicted bag of holding.
No, don't turn my people's artifacts into narcotical things.
I'm uncomfortable.
This is
so
Dave. Dave, give me my people's artifacts.
let my people go right to jail. Do not
Yeah.
pass go. Do not pass $200.
Why, white man, do you keep giving my people drugs?
So after pilfering the stuff, You are in the captain's quarters, and you hand it off to the unsuspecting tribal historian. And the pilot is going over the controls, and he gets the ship lifted off into the air. As you feel the whole thing rumbling, he says, "You might want to fasten your seatbelts." And as he does operate the controls, a series of strange levers, you see that there's a hatch in the dashboard right below some readouts and meters. You see cathode tubes full of arcane energy and technology. And he says to you, Belial, in case of emergency, or if I pass out, I'm going to need you to go ahead and take control here. I'm assuming you're not trained in this, but it's really not all that hard. I'm sure you know the basics of arcane magic. Great.
I know. Yeah.
If
And
anything
he puts his
goes...
hands in weird configurations. It's like, yeah, this thing, that thing that you move around your hands, and you
No,
do the
those-
thing with the hand gesture. The thing he's waving his hands around.
That's just Naruto jutsus.
Oh God, no! What have I been doing for the last 3 years?
Says, in case of emergency, like the engine starts rumbling, this thing runs on thought power. That's right. It's got symbiotic thought crystals in here. Let me open this baby up. See the latch here? It's got a secret handshake to it. And he reaches for the hatch, and it's got this weird latch. He jiggles it at exactly 42 degrees. Okay, 45 is too many. 40 is not enough. 42 degrees. It's the meaning of life now. You'll remember that. And the hatch
Yes.
slides open, and underneath the floor, you see a magnificent engine. It is steaming and greasy. There are wires and tubes just compacted in an almost impossibly tight space. And he says, the heart of that baby is the symbiotic crystal. Now, it only talks to me. And you hear a little voice chime out from the engine. That's right. I only talk to the boss. Engines are talking
what
to
do
you.
do about that?
As
Yeah.
well,
Just like, okay.
you'll need to implant on the crystal. That's how this baby works. To give it some gas, you're gonna have to think some interesting thoughts. Now, that could be your favorite riddles or even a song. The important thing is that you demonstrate some sort of intelligence. I assume you can demonstrate some sort of intelligence. Go ahead, try it out. What'll you say? Pretend I'm dead. He'll pretend to be dead.
Okay. If the sun shines everywhere, how can a cloud obscure it?
The crystal's just like, ooh, I like this one. Ooh, I'm imprinting all over.
Oh
You
my
feel you feel this crystal in your mind with a little bit of pressure. Not uncomfortable, more like radiation, like a heat.
Oh my God. Okay.
And as you say those words, the ship begins to speed off towards the southern border of the district. From outside the windows, you can see that you are flying high above this singular mountain, which you have been studying. There are no other mountains in the desert. It looks very, very strange to you. The city itself is built on tiers. The lower rings around the base of the desert are mainly low-income housing, from what you can see on the south side of the mountain where you are. And If you look on Owlbear, you can see here I'm revealing the spot you were just at, the Libratus, and you're traveling west and heading to the Circadian Amphitheater, which is the yellow district on the map on Owlbear. Below, you see the incline, the mountain is rising up with these tiers of houses, and eventually you see a pink lake, a water lake with pink water, and it is the only source of water that you see all around. And there's this strange building in the middle of the lake with a bridge leading up to it. And Jace will say, oh, there's your market cortex right there. Ain't she a weird-looking thing? No stairs in there either. 3 floors, no stairs. That's right. Mages only, for the most part. If you're smart like me, you'll just walk right up the walls. As you're passing over, you see that there's a rolling fog that is pouring your way through the sky. He says, there's going to be a little bit of turbulence. You two back there, you might want to take your seat. All right, let's see what you got here. Belial, you're going to be my co-pilot. I'm going to give this thing as much juice as I can. We need to get above these clouds, so I need you to keep an eye out for me. See if you can find a path where there's no mist. If we get trapped in there, we very well might get sucked into an errant dream. And that would put us behind schedule.
All right, I'll watch.
Everyone, buckle up.
Very good idea. If you buckle up, you get a advantage on any reflex save to resist turbulence.
Fuck yeah.
They
buckle
are
up.
over-the-shoulder buckles that clasp in the center. They look like they do not even belong to this ship. They look like they've been stripped out of a military surplus.
So what am I rolling for to keep a lookout?
You
Perception?
can do a perception or a nature, whichever's higher.
Oh my god, I think my nature. Let's see here. My nature is +3, and perception. Perception's +5.
Go for it.
Thanks.
Make my day.
Oh, that sucks.
You're trying to direct him, and he starts flying right into some of this fog, and it starts gunking up the engines. He starts yelling. Jace is starting to give commands to the engine and whispering in his mind. You hear him say a couple of strange things to the engine. Like, let's pull up a couple of them. 1 second. He says, if you differentiate between being awake and dreaming, how's it even possible to know if you're actually awake or not? And the engine's just like, I'm still hungry. Everybody feels the turbulence rocking the cabin. Everyone needs to roll a reflex save. And if you're buckled in, take advantage.
And reflex is a
Oh, sorry, dexterity. Dexterity save. I haven't played Pathfinder in about a year, and I still call it a reflex save. Lord Swipe with the 20. That is going in the inspirations. All right, you guys are good.
I put on like 4 different seatbelts. Like as many as I could. Very nervous.
So you are able to, when you want to, manifest this memory. Your muscle memory kicks in if you manifest this. You are much more secure anytime you're piloting, and you're gonna get a +2 to resist any forced movements or dex saves versus a forced movement. So, as the cabin is shaking and attempting to force you up against the walls for non-lethal bludgeoning, you see Lord Paw strap himself in, one limb in each buckle, and you are extremely comfortable. You actually are able to almost sleep through this. And the other two of you, you are also just fine. We need to make one for the pilot, however. And yeah, he's not doing so good. He gets bounced up and he smacks his head. And when he lays back in his chair, he just recoils, and you see the stars sparkling in his eyes. And the little engine crystal voice is just saying, "Mayday! Mayday! The captain's asleep! Do something! Mayday!" So, Belial, your mind is overtaken with anxiety. You need to roll me a whatever your highest mental stat, which is your wisdom, a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that's easy.
I'll be right back, guys. I just gotta see what why my dog's crying.
No worries. All right. Yeah, you are able to calm yourself. You think happy thoughts, and the engine stops jittering so hard. But the captain is not waking up. Now, it seems like you are going to have to land this thing, as you see, if you look on your Owlbear map to the east, there is a large building which you believe is most likely the Midas Repository. It is the largest building in the district here. And as you're flying over the walls and the buildings, you start looking around for the landing zone for the factory. So again, you can make a nature or a perception. And everybody sees that Jace is knocked out, which means he could require some medical attention. I don't think anyone's trained in medicine, though. No.
No, I mean I have a +3 medicine though.
You're flying the plane. You have to choose.
I have to do everything. I've heard.
What'll it be?
Oh my god, that kind of sucks.
So,
No.
you're having a really hard time, but eventually you do see the landing zone. There's a burnt out looking warehouse, a huge factory yard that is just destroyed, just covered in destroyed looking pieces of scaffolding, and the ground itself is full of trenches and rubble, walls crumbling, observation towers that are barely standing, and you're pretty sure that's where you need to land. But before you're able to go in for a smooth landing, that fog starts rolling in again, and you're having a hard time avoiding it. Electricity crackles around you, and you know you're in some danger here, which, give me 1 second. You roll the danger.
Not more
Yes,
danger.
There's rolling ball lightning coming out of the mist. You see in the mist not storm clouds on their own, but these are the dreams of people dreaming of storms. And these dream clouds appear, and the lightning fires out at your ship, at the most close metal vessel, which is you. Chris, you're in the pilot seat. Belial needs to do some evasive maneuvers here, and that's going to be another wisdom saving throw versus chain lightning. Very good.
Yes. Oh my
As you
god.
see a bolt of lightning threatening to rip through the ship and hit all of you by proxy. You think of something that protects you. What is that thought? What do you do or say?
Ooh. I call out to my goddess, my star goddess, and I start saying, like my job isn't done yet. Like there's work to be done for the tribe, and don't let this be my last breath.
Please, I'm a star.
I'm a star.
What
All
the
right.
hell's going on up there?
You see lightning pass over you, protected by a field of energy, of thought. It seems like Belial is actually not the worst pilot, even being untrained as he is. He has protected you and begins to descend. You see a good landing spot on the top right corner of this map here.
Here, put a token in
And-
here for me, Dave.
Yep, just give me 1 second.
Okay.
There you go.
I was gonna say all I see is
Second.
black.
Haven't used this map yet, so that's gonna be set up. There we go. So the huge ship touches down, but Jace is groggily starting to come to, but we're gonna roll him a con save to see if he can even help with the landing. Oh yeah. He wakes up and he's just like, ugh, what happened? Oh god, we're descending rapidly. And he starts grabbing in the controls and pulling levers. He's gonna make a piloting check, and Chris, you can help him out here with a Arcana roll.
Oof.
Yes, this is an arcane device. The landing is pretty rough because the pilot only just woke up. You skid down the side of the mountain for quite some ways as a ship bounces off of a warehouse building to the side of the proposed landing spot and spins out, the strain on the legs beginning to destroy your landing gear. The turbulence again throwing you from left to right, forcing everyone to make a dexterity saving throw one last time to hold on for dear life.
It's fine.
Still advantage for being buckled in.
Yes.
Oh, it's completely fine. This is a smooth landing. You
Smoothest
kidding me?
landing you've ever done.
This is great.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Yikes.
With
Whoa.
advantage.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
That's tough.
Ooh.
And
Ooh. Someone just hauled ass out of the plane.
Lord Paw, your seatbelt actually unbuckles and you get ejected through the window. You take 6 non-lethal damage as you land on your feet outside the ship.
Wait, really, Dave? How hard? Dave, Dave, how high up was that?
That was right at the end, so he lands with a downward momentum. So he's right there, right under the ship, and the ship comes skidding right over the top of him. And unfortunately, Krull, as well, you are flung to the ground as your restraints also snap. You, unfortunately, take 3 lethal damage as you smash your leg on the seat. Let me just
Son
scale
of a
your tokens. Yeah, that did not feel good, but Jace looks back at you and he's just like, everybody still alive? Oh god! Where's the cat? He looks outside and he's just like, I need to
What
repair the
cat?
ship.
What cat? There was never a cat. What are you talking about?
Don't play with
Perfect
my
landing.
mind. Things are already
Perfect
shady enough as it is. Look,
So did the box fall out?
the drugs were strapped in, so they got jostled, but they should be fine. The ship didn't get too destroyed. It didn't require its own save here. That would only happen on like a nat 1.
Maybe we could crack the box open and say that it broke on the way down. But I'm no longer in the
You
ship, so
you took a little bit of damage to the point where by the time you think of that, Jace is already very attentive to the ship, so he would definitely most likely notice this. You think it's
Oh my
probably a bad
God.
idea. And even more dangerously than that, as you realize the factory grounds are indeed overrun by Modrons. As you can see on the map, there are little box-like robotic creatures scuttling about, and with that harsh landing, they are all looking in your direction.
Can I roll? Oh, can I use the nature check? No. Or religion?
Modron's a machine, so
Yes, know more about the Modrons. Let's
yeah,
see here. I know, probably Arcana, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll roll that then.
Sure. Anyone can roll an Arcana on those guys.
And 11.
Well, you know what a construct is, but unfortunately not a lot more than that.
I don't know that they're extra planar.
These ones, you were told, are creations of this plane. They were created here.
Oh. Okay.
Mhm.
So,
guidance, so 18. for
well,
me.
Ooh,
guys, I
okay.
don't think we have to worry about the Modrons. They're pretty stupid. I mean, they just fall over themselves.
And we're in the description of dangerous. So after you.
So, Krull, you actually know what these are, as in your past, you've heard about the dangers of constructs, especially if Skynet ever became a thing. Big Brother could send these after you. The Dreamweavers must love their machines, as they are creatures immune to mental effects. And you've been told that these are, from their description, from what you can see, these cube-shaped ones. These are quadrones. They are actually a little bit difficult to hit. Their natural armor is a little bit thick. They are tick AF. But also, they are able to fire arrows out of their body, or at rapid pace, actually, as they have a chain gunning attack pattern, or they can make 2 attacks with their little pointy claw-like legs. You should be able to handle at least one on your own. Everybody feels, from what you're saying, that you should be able to take them on one-on-one, hopefully. But if you got hit by a full barrage of arrows, and it looks like there's 3 of these guys that you can see, that could be 12 arrows. That would be 12d6 damage if they all hit. So something to be aware of. You also remember, since you rolled so high, that Symbol told you these Modrons are very clever and will use traps against you. So, we're going to want to get some initiatives, and I will actually do that for you. That's the one thing I can automate for you guys here. So I'm going to set you all to combat, and then begin a combat. Let me do that real quick.
So, do I know anything about what their how they perceive things in the world, or don't I?
Yeah. You know that these have true sight and a pretty good perception. They have a +2, so they do have some built-in scanners. The downside is, even though they're quite technological, these things disintegrate if they die, so unfortunately these will not be leaving anything behind. And let me roll everybody in. Alright. Then let me just roll for these guys. So we got 12 for Lord Swipe, 11 for Krull, and Belial unfortunately at a 4. The Modrons are going to ignore that roll.
Also going for.
The enemies are actually taking average is the way I'll do initiative for enemies, which is actually a new thing I'm trying out. So if it becomes a problem, I might not always do that, but something I want to try out recently is giving enemies an average on their initiatives just to spice it up, just to make things a little bit spicy. Lord Swipe, however, is much more dexterous than them, so I'll say it's definitely worth looking for traps, as I mentioned, but otherwise, let's just take a quick 2-minute break. I'm going to use the bathroom, so before we start combat, 2-minute break, everyone. Lord Paw, you are first to act on the scene. You see, closest thing to you is this Modron here. You do not see the entrance to the factory. You just see rubble. What will you do?
Am I raised up at all? That Modron? Am I like? Is this a walkway that we're on?
Yeah, so to get down this wall here is 15 feet down.
All right, and then do I see this person?
Those are mushrooms. You can roll a knowledge nature.
Okay. Well,
Oh yeah.
Only on you or a turn. Don't want to
then,
give it away.
I will slowly start moving around. I'll use my 30 feet of movement. I guess just kind of. Oop, I'm still on the. First time using this VTT. Does it measure your movement?
Let me check the measuring tool real quick. This map was not exactly to scale, so unfortunately the measuring tool is not super accurate on this one. The squares are just 5 feet each.
Adverse to danger and not wanting to risk falling down the rubble, I'll use my turn to kind of stealthily move along this path towards the mushrooms and see if there's a safer way down.
Alright.
I'll use the. Let's do. Well, I'm not taking an action, so I'll just use the hide action as I move.
Alright, very good. So I'll roll you a secret stealth, so you don't know the number. And your stealth bonus is a +7. Very nice. Let me roll on their perceptions. So you realize pretty quickly as you're sneaking along the edge here that the Modrons are pretty difficult to fool. This one right here does still see you. And if you would like to, you can abandon your stealth, or you can try to find some cover.
Yeah, I would.
So you can roll a dexterity saving throw to kind of hit the deck. Someone's microphone's feeding back a little bit. I think that's you, Chris. Yes, with a 24, you're able to drop down prone, and you see that there's a large boulder here that you can hide behind. Your position is not compromised yet, but this is a pretty precarious place to sneak. So that was your movement, and you can take an action.
So, do I know for a fact that they did see me? Or I just
They were looking your way, so they have a hunch you might be there, but they didn't see you.
am I able to? Well, I guess I used all my movement to get here, so I can't stand back up. I will ready an action with my short bow. Should one of these Modrons come closer to my party, I'd like to fire.
Very good. Then it is their turn. And this Modron instantly triggers your attack. As it does, it gets a little bit too close for comfort. Moving 1 square to the north here. And you may make your attack.
David, was I able to hide behind that rock? Like, can the Modron see me?
No, he beat your stealth, so if you
Okay.
poke out, he kind of can expect it.
Okay.
Next turn, though.
So just a regular attack.
You do have soft cover, so your AC is increased. And that was a 9. So you know that your arrow hits the ground next to it. Your aim is a little bit off. But then it does not target you. It's actually looking at the biggest group of people. And it's going to unleash a barrage of arrows. Its aim up the ramp is a little bit obscured as it's shooting up a 45-degree angle, pretty much. So both of you have a +5 for cover here, as it opens up its first volley, just indiscriminately peppering the area. So we'll start with 2 for Krull. We've got a 9, which does not hit, a 9, which does not hit, and then for Belial, we've got a 1, which definitely does not hit, and a 2. So these arrows, they just litter the area, but they do not come anywhere near you. However, the Modron will then continue moving, and it's actually going to start moving away to the east. As it has a hover, it's hovering. They don't really walk, they kind of lift up with little propulsion jets and fly around. So he can only get to here. You see him going in this direction, and the thing that he was going to press, you actually see is a pressure plate in the ground. It looks like a disheveled looking machine that you wouldn't think twice about, but to the two of you over here, it becomes obvious that he's heading straight for it to activate one of those traps that you were told to avoid. But that's all that he can do. Then, seeing his friend moving that way, this one's going to go this way. He's going to get to here. And he's gonna make the same barrage of arrow attacks up at Krull. Oh my god. Well, you know, dangerous if they can hit. Wow. 2, 2, 7, and 1. None of those hit.
Like my rolls this afternoon.
Wow.
Oh boy. This Modron way over here does see you as you're touching down and landing, so he is going to move as well. He's going to go over to here, and that's where he's going to end his turn. So that's all he's going to do for now. And then Krull.
Okay, so how far away is this guy from?
35. 35 horizontally. The slope is 15 down. We don't Pythagoras for this.
Yeah.
Too
So
much
is
math.
he like down in the valley still, or?
Yeah, he's on the ledge directly below you, and then this past here, this would be even
So
further.
if he goes to here,
Mhm.
can he like reach him with his halberd?
Yes. Yeah, that little ledge is just like a 3-foot drop, so he's totally within range.
Okay. So that's what he'll do.
Now, there's a lot of elevation on this map.
Nice.
Oh,
Ooh, instantly critting it. Very good. Go ahead and roll crit damage.
nice.
15 on that one, and here you have a second attack.
Do. But
Just so you guys know, it says plus 15 feet. I don't use elevation like this. I just use that to track how much damage they've taken, so you can ignore that it says feet. Go ahead and roll it manually this round, and I'll add it in again for you real quick. Let's just remember when we update your sheet after to give it to you on D&D Beyond, because it'll keep happening.
yeah, that's a miss.
Okay, and could you describe for everybody what it looks like when you summon your halberd and attack with it?
Yeah. I can't remember what I called it before. But
That's alright.
he's basically gonna say, "Oh, Daedalus, yeah. Well,
This.
Daedalus, I summon you to protect me. Huzzah!"
Awesome. All the anime protagonists.
That's
So,
miss.
with the first hit, let me just plug in all these things here real quick for you. The first hit causes the machine to start sputtering and spitting out oil. As you know, this thing is essentially bloodied, or the equivalent to what a machine could be. Spell attack.
So he's going to move 5 feet away from it, so that if he. But I guess he's not gonna come closer to me, is he?
Probably not. And when they're bloodied, we do the little blood spatters. So that's not blood, it's red oil. Haha. Alright, any bonus actions?
Nope.
Alright. Belial.
All right. So what I'm going to do is first use my bonus action to take on a starry form archer.
Very good. You start lighting up the sky, and could you describe what it looks like when you transform like a magical girl?
Yes, I will. You can see me spinning and twirling in the air, and as you can see just above my head, constellation, and its smoky gases of its galaxies behind it start to form onto me from the sky, and I take on this almost celestial scale mail, and I have a giant glowing golden bow and
Awesome.
a large crown. And what I do is, from the golden bow, is a spell has been casted, and that spell is Flaming Sphere.
Ooh. All right, I'll put a
I
token down for
throw
you.
that shit down, and I hit that goblin. And in doing so, I cast, well, I believe 1d8 of a guiding bolt.
Which one do you want to put it on?
The one that's dying.
Okay.
So
Very
I
cool.
also hit it. I also hit that thing with. Let's see here.
Yeah, he takes
extra
full.
6 damage. So okay, 6 damage to him. And the flaming sphere hits him for.
Your guiding bolt is an attack roll too, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yep, you have to roll a range attack for that. The flaming sphere rolls over this thing, just crushing it and burning it. And that's going to do the full 2d6 fire.
7 plus. Let's see. So 10.
You didn't give yourself a bow, did you?
No, I didn't give myself a bow.
That's fine, you can just remember. 10, however, is not enough as your arrow goes errant, but you can roll 2d6 fire for the sphere.
2d6. Oh well. Uh,
3. Ooh.
bad. That was bad.
Would you like to move?
Yeah, that was all show. No substance.
You're too busy spinning around. Look at me! Look at me! Oh my god.
So, I know. I'm staying right where I am.
Okay. Brings us to the top of the round. We've got Lord Swipe.
I move back the dragonfly. It's still there. To help my friend here, but I'd like to use my bonus action after I move to see if I can hide behind the ship and not be seen by the Modron that is bloodied.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll you a secret stealth here. Ooh. Unfortunately, as soon as you go to hide, I rolled you a nat 1, I'm sorry. The captain gets the ship moving again, and he starts taking off, depriving you of cover. The ship actually starts jumping and landing and taking off and landing, and it's having a really hard time because of its landing gear being damaged. So it just moves away from you as soon as you try to take cover behind it. And there, it'll remain there until next turn.
Bad taking no drugs!
He's doing the drugs in there.
Alright, well, then, without advantage, I'll try to shoot at this thing again. Is Kroll with... How close is Kroll to it?
He's 15 feet.
15? Okay. No sneak attack damage, I will just attack.
Hey!
Oh, so close.
Almost
No
a crit.
advantage needed, though.
Yes. Damage.
Yes.
Wow.
Excellent.
Wow.
With one arrow, you cease the machine moving. How do you describe it?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a chaotic scene as I, kind of perfectly hide behind the dragonfly, and then it leaves. My kind of anger at that steadies my gaze as I knock that arrow in the short bow, find the kind of largest eye in the center of the modron, and just straight to that eye, piercing it through.
Nice. Alright. Then it is their turn. And luckily that Modron cannot activate his trap card. We've got another one, and he's gonna go 1, 2, 3,
Well, I
4, 5,
activate
6.
Flaming Sphere. Oh no.
I play Flaming Sphere in defense mode. Oh, when the Modron dies, it also explodes and disintegrates into dust. So it actually does not leave a body. Just a splattering of oil and dust. Then this guy is in a really bad spot to shoot at you, so he's just going to spin around because he can do it too. He's going to give you all one arrow, but he's going to give an extra one to Belial just because he's jealous of your boogie. For Lord Swipe, that is a big miss. First one on Belial is a miss. Another miss. And that one came dangerously close to Krull, but Krull, you're able to dodge it, and he deals no damage. We've got another Modron to the south.
I still circle better than you. Look at all the misses. Whee! Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Our last Modron moves up, but he cannot do anything else. So that goes to Krull.
Okay. So Roll's going to. So is this red thing a dead Modron?
That's his flaming sphere.
Oh, okay.
You know, you could also investigate this pressure plate, because it seems like you don't quite know what it does. If you wanted to.
What he's gonna do?
Alright, so just an object interact with an investigation roll. So it looks like this pressure plate would release some very strange mechanisms. There are weird gears and wires under your feet that run all throughout the factory grounds. It actually kind of looks like these Modrons have been rigging up traps in their spare time. The whole place seems rigged with some sort of trap, but you just can't quite figure it out. But what you do figure out is that these pressure plates can also most likely open up the hidden entrance to the factory. It's been sealed, you think, since there's no evidence of it. But you think, after knowing this, you have a pretty good idea that you can find at least one, maybe two more of these pressure plates hidden around and sort of triangulate exactly which pressure plate is going to open up the door. You don't think it's this one, though.
Okay, so seeing that it wasn't activated, can I ascertain that the trap hasn't been set yet? Because what I'm assuming is that the 4 or whatever the traps are having covering the floor of this valley here, and because the Modrons fly, they don't set it up.
Exactly.
So he's gonna say that to the other guys on his team.
Very smart. In fact,
Look out.
you are very clever. I'm going to give you inspiration. You have an inspiration point for figuring that out. It's true. The Modrons fly, and the trap is floor-based. You can use that inspiration when you need it. And that was just a interaction, so you still have your movement and full turn.
Okay. So he's going to, and this is a quadron or whatever, right?
Yep.
This here?
Mhm.
Okay. So he's gonna shoot his Eldritch Blast.
All right, very good.
Because he knows that
Much easier to aim than an arrow. You do not take any penalty for cover for these rocks or anything like that. You can just explode this Eldritch Blast right above the Modron's location. And when it does,
ooh,
do you have a unique twist to your Eldritch Blast at all? Does it look a certain way?
yeah, it looks oddly green and kind of eldritchy, if you get my drift. Kind of
Very
like
good.
evil lightning.
Ooh. Perfect. And would you like to move?
Okay, so
You could get behind this corner would be good cover though. You can go under this bridge here. Yeah. Yeah.
okay, end the turn.
Then we've got Belial.
I'm going to send the flaming sphere into. Yep, that one. And
That's your
I think
bonus
that
action.
take-
So you know.
Huh? Oh, it's my bonus action? Okay.
To move the sphere, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Then I'll use Guiding Bolt to hit him.